Thanks to Koei Tecmo for providing me with a review code. How would I rate this? Oh, hey everyone, sorry, I'm just trying to think of, rebooting myself and trying to think of a new origin story for me, so let's see. Joey was the greatest person to ever live. No, I gotta make it a bit more believable than that. Joey was the second greatest person to ever live. But I'm not being specific about which Joey. Man, coming up with your own origin story is tough. Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with my review of Dynasty Warriors Origins, available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC, coming out January 17th, though if you bought the digital deluxe version, you can play the game 4 days ahead of its release date. Big thanks to Koei Tecmo for providing me with a review code for the Xbox Series X version of Dynasty Warriors Origins. I am so excited for this as I love the Dynasty Warriors franchise and curious with this new RPG take in Origins with more strategy elements involved. This marks the 10th installment of this long-running series for the main games. While Dynasty Warrior games of the past have had RPG and strategy elements, Origins is quite story-driven with many tactical elements to think of, while still maintaining the whole one-man army Musou gameplay that makes Dynasty Warrior games so appealing. But do these changes help elevate Dynasty Warriors to a whole new level, or does it fail to capitalize on these changes? Well, let's dive into many elements of Dynasty Warriors Origins to find out before I give my review score. I will also keep this review spoiler-free. I will talk about certain gameplay elements, but to avoid major story spoilers, I will cover just the first 3 chapters in the game. Hope you all enjoy. Unlike many previous titles of Dynasty Warriors where you have many different characters to control and play as, Dynasty Warriors Origins has you playing a silent protagonist named the Wanderer, or whoever you choose to name him, where 150 years after the Eastern Han Dynasty has been established and people are starving and suffering, the protagonist, along with other individuals and a group called the Yellow Turbans, help save the village, but in doing so, are now ruled by the Yellow Turbans and through their rebellion, start to take over many areas and create turmoil brought on by power. Now, the protagonist must fight alongside those that he trusts in bringing peace to the land, as you are known as the Guardian of Peace, a group of people whose mission is to end those who go corrupt with power. This protagonist also lost their memories, which, of course, it's an RPG, and so you gain those memories little by little as you progress through the game. If you played Dynasty Warriors before, then the story will be familiar to you. Every Dynasty Warriors game is based off of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms book, and so the formula with the characters and who their allegiance lies will be familiar. The game though keeps the storytelling very interesting by having these Guardians of Peace and just such well written dialogue and conversations throughout. There is a lot of passion here. When going through the story too, at first you will have no allegiance to any clan. Each clan you meet all have their goals aligned at first, and so You will be going back and forth helping each of them. At the end of Chapter 3 though, you will need to choose who to align yourself with. Now you can go back in previous battles and chapters to see the other stories too after you finished one path. Now, I do have to say, the protagonist is quite bland. During cutscenes, they are very emotionless, where other games that had silent protagonists, they made them stand out much more than the one here in Dynasty Warriors Origins. Luckily though, the other characters help carry the game along. Many are fun to talk to and get to know, as Dynasty Warriors Origins has social events now where you can increase your bond with each officer. As someone who loves RPGs, I love the storytelling and having these social elements here. You also traverse on an open map to go to your next mission and destination. To be honest, I feel like the game didn't need to have this, since it's not like you're traveling in an open world to go to your next area like in Dynasty Warriors 9, and so this map didn't really add much for me. You can go collect some materials that you can convert into gems to help you in battles, go to different towns to buy weapons or items, and have conversations with others, but I feel I would have been just as fine if it was a simple menu to choose where to go next. Dynasty Warriors Origins is a beautiful game with great work on the character models, though yes, ones that aren't a big named officer will have reused assets for these, so in battles you will see many of the same officers to fight along with your common enemies. Same with the battlefields themselves, you will see the same areas quite often. The battlefields though you take part in are quite stunning and takes advantage of the hardware, and the game runs smoothly too on Xbox Series X. I had no issues playing through, and it's quite amazing considering how many enemies are on screen at once. I believe the producers said they want to try and have 10,000 characters on screen at the same time, and some of these big battles, it feels like there is that many. Everything flows very smooth, and it's quite impressive how the frame rate maintains itself here. The soundtrack in Dynasty Warriors Origins is epic. These tracks feel like they are straight out of a blockbuster movie, whether these were your more emotional scenes or the middle of a grand scale battle. The soundtrack is fantastic.
I had hoped for more resistance than that.
I also cannot state how good the sound effects are too. When you charge into battle, the footsteps of your soldiers marching along with the horses is incredible. In battles, which I will cover more of this when we get into gameplay, but when you parry attacks of officers, the sound is so satisfying every time. The voice acting here is quite solid too. Now, I do use English dubbing, so just keep that in mind, but you have many of the greats here like Kaji Tang, Alondro Saab, and Ryan Bartley. Each bring lots of life to these characters, which helps so much since, like I said, the protagonist you play as is a bit bland. I had lots of fun talking to each of these characters and getting to know them personally. Dynasty Warriors Origins keeps the core gameplay mechanic that made previous titles so addictive, and that's the Muso cut down thousands of enemies gameplay. There are so many enemies on screen now, and when you get to certain battles that take place in an open field in a grand scale, boy, is it epic. It is incredible to behold and fight your way through enemy after enemy. It can get very overwhelming, especially if you are surrounded and cannot move, but man, is this the most fun I've had with a Dynasty Warriors game. Battles are still quite button mashy, but now with much more technique involved. When you face off against an officer, you can either dodge or parry certain attacks, along with occasionally having duels against them. Now, anyone who's played a Dynasty Warriors game or any spin-off and crossover know that the gameplay is repetitive. It is the same here, but let me tell you, combat is the most satisfying combat the series has ever had. You have 3 difficulty choices to choose from at the start: Historian, Wayfarer, or Hero. I chose the middle normal difficulty, Wayfarer, and I was worried at first that the game may be too difficult for me since I'm not great at these types of games, but the difficulty was the perfect balance for me and it made combat so satisfying. There's also your rage bar and different horses you gain throughout the story too, along with leveling up your horses after each battle. Yes, they have a level up system too. I said how good it felt when you were able to parry attacks when talking about music and voice acting, as when you get that rhythm going, the gameplay loop is addictive. After each fight, I want to go straight back into another one. You also get different weapons to use, starting with a sword, and you unlock more as you progress through the game. These weapons are how you level up. Each weapon you gain and use in battle, you gain experience with them, along with gaining a little bit passively with ones you don't use, and once you gain a proficiency level with a weapon, your character will level up. These weapons too, all of them are super fun to use. I want to use all of them, which is so important for games like this, right? I just loved every weapon. They were just so fun to use. I did like the wheels the most, as it was just super fast, fluid combat with those. You also gain skill points through battles, along with challenges that your fellow officers give you. These are simple tasks you do on the battlefield, like using battle skills to defeat enemies with a certain weapon, KOs with Muso attacks, using tactics once you gain a small squad to command, and so on. The skill tree unlocks new battle skills for you to use, along with boosting certain stats or increasing effects of items used in battle. There are 3 different types of battles you play. Skirmishes you find on maps. These are very short and used to do some challenges or grind to level some weapons up. You also have side quests. These you will find on the field themselves for you to do after doing some main story missions, or ones given to you by officers. These range from being short to fairly long missions. And then you have your main story missions. These are your long missions where you want to pay attention to what is said in the council room before a battle, because if you rush too quickly to your main objective, it can be quite challenging. Trust me, I did this a few times. There is a bit of strategy involved with how you tackle these main missions, and you get your crazy grand scale battles here too. Now, some will be disappointed that there is no co-op. This is a single player story heavy experience. You also don't get to play as different officers. You will eventually be able to gain a companion officer for battles, and once their rage bar is full, you can control them for a short period of time, but for the most part, you are playing as the amnesiac silent protagonist. Overall though, the gameplay here is the most fun and addictive that I've had in any Dynasty Warriors game, spin-offs and crossovers included as well. Dynasty Warriors Origins is quite the achievement. When you reboot a series, it can be challenging to create something that both new and old fans will enjoy, while still maintaining what made Dynasty Warriors great. You will still have longtime fans not be fully on board with this new direction in RPG storytelling, but I think many will welcome these changes, and for new players yet to jump in, This is a great starting point. Having this story retold and including so many interesting new elements, Dynasty Warriors Origins is arguably the best the series has seen yet. There's also lots of replay value with joining different clans and seeing how each play out, and while repetitive, the game is super addictive, and that's why I am giving Dynasty Warriors Origins an A grade overall. So, let me know what you all think. Are you picking up Dynasty Warriors Origins? Or, if you are already playing it, what do you think of it? Let me know in the comments as always. Thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Thanks everyone, have a great rest of your day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to see more. Hit the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. Also, follow me on Twitter at TotalLevelYT, along with Twitch, also at TotalLevelYT. Or maybe you only stayed for any skits I put in my video. In that case, please stay anyways. I'm so lonely. Alright, take care and have a great rest of your day, everyone.